Well, that was as good a time as I need to start recording. It's an extra seconds before. Or minutes,
Hello.
actually. Oh. Five. All right. That was a five. That was scary. I was at a challenge rating of five.
CR5 moment.
Jesus. I'm gonna change the challenge rating. All right.
Doing some light and counterbalancing.
Well, instead of me trying to like do what I did last time and just just steroid the hell out of like goblins and like other enemies, I'm looking through homebrew monsters that are available in D&D. And one being a kobold that has like 163 health, and I was like, Jesus.
That's actually that's the CR5. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Oh, that's reasonable. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so the CR, the basic of it is one creature of a CR level is supposed to be equal to 4 adventurers of that level. So a
Oh,
CR5 monster is going to be equivalent to 4 level 5 adventurers.
okay. So it's a balancing act between like one creature of this is supposed to be able to take as many hits from five people. Okay, that actually makes a lot of
Basically, yeah. Yeah,
sense.
that's why they're so chunky. I
Yeah.
will say though, the CR calculation does not include magical items. It assumes no magical items on the adventurers, so
Mm-hmm.
it gets really wonky at high levels.
Yeah.
Classic example being the CR30 Tarask being able to be soloed by a level 12 wizard.
No,
I
we
love
ain't
Eric
doing that.
Cochran.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it can be soloed by an Aarakocra Ranger at level 5. But
Mm.
Yeah,
that's because the
Eric.
Tarask sucks, not because it's
I was gonna say
CR30.
Eric Cochran Wizard at level 2. Just have him pick up Firebolt, and he can do the same thing just in the air. Level 1, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think Firebolt has enough range to deal with the Tarask's movement. Or it's got a roar or something. There's
Mm-hmm.
a reason you have to be far away.
I thought Tarrasques didn't have any range.
Frightful presence. That's why.
Gotcha.
You have to be able to attack from 120 feet away.
So yeah, Eric Cochran, 420 feet in the air, just start dropping rocks. Every 10 feet they fall, they get stronger and stronger.
Yeah. To be fair though, that is mostly because the Tarask sucks. It is
Why
a bad monster.
won't you die? Basically.
Hey, it's just a big wall of hit points that can't really do anything.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird ones. But
I
yeah,
explained.
CR is a pretty good general rule to follow. There are a couple of exceptions, but
Mhm.
it'll serve you mostly okay.
I had the great fortunate opportunity to explain what a false hydra was to Samar yesterday.
Phaedra.
Yeah. I'm
What is
like,
that?
it
Is that a
is.
snake with 7 heads that dies when you cut off the first one?
No,
No. No. It's
no,
actually so much worse. I feel like if I were to introduce that to you guys pretty early on, you'd probably all
don't,
fucking hate me.
don't, don't run a false Hydra.
No, I'm not
It's a
going
really
to.
cool monster to read stories about. It is absolutely horrible to play in a game.
Yeah, because I was reading like the lore and like how you would introduce it. I'm like, that's a lot of work to like lead
Yeah,
up to something to where this could be a total party wipe, and I have no backup.
yeah, it just kind of sucks. It's one of those monsters that it's like it's a really cool concept, and God, is it impossible for it to work because of the game
Hmm.
being a game. I will say though, if you're struggling to find monsters and like feel that you need to homebrew them, I would recommend taking just take like a monster that's close to what you want and
Hmm.
just giving it shit or taking stuff away from it. That's what I do
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
yeah.
Or
I
just
mean,
risk it.
I found plenty of monsters I can definitely utilize and find off the monster homebrew section for the D&D Beyond. So I'm good on all that. Once I get to like bosses, that's kind of where I'm going to like really hunker down and like actually write it out and like make sure it works in a battle sense. Because the last thing I want is to have a really overpowered bullshit boss mechanic, and there's absolutely nothing you guys can do against it. Because then I'm going to be like, all right, I got to reel it back in mid fight.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, reeling it back in is always a thing, but generally, yeah, try at least to leave a little bit of counterplay.
Yeah.
Or if it's a guaranteed effect, don't make it that strong,
Also,
it's a bit of a balancing act.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that Winter is not feeling very up to it. She shan't be joining us this evening, but she wanted us to continue and play anyway. She said that Ware probably just started walking into the woods and then said, "Don't worry, I'll be right back," and then did not walk out.
Okay, I can work with that.
She told me the reasoning, but I don't know if I'm allowed to tell the reasoning. So,
I will message her right now and just ask her for reasons why. And also what your
My dice are cold.
oh, the false it's a Hydra that makes everyone forget that it saw it.
It's a lump of flesh that basically grows with animosity, and forms a head, and then slowly over time, just grows by eating people and gaining more heads until the point where it becomes so large where it says "fuck it, we ball," and then just starts mass eating. And then when that town's basically down to like however many humans it needs, it'll just force the humans still alive to just carry it to the next town over, where it'll basically rinse repeat until eventually everything on that continent is dead and it can't eat anymore. It is a basically end of the world scenario situation.
All that this game has taught me is that if I want to carry more people, I need to be faster.
Or stronger.
Nah, fuck it. More movement speed.
Just be able to shove your entire body through a solid, 5-foot brick wall. You'll be fine.
I can do it with boots
Become
of
the
speed, a
canonical
hasted action, and
Kool-Aid
the
Man.
mobile feet. I will do it. If I get hasted, I have boots of speed and 10 more feet with the mobile and 10 more feet of movement with the mobile feet. I might be able to do it with 3 full dashes.
Yo.
Hello.
What up?
Apologies for my lateness.
Oh, you're fine.
To run across the street after pillaging some Christmas cookies from my parents.
Cookies now.
I was permitted to take some cookies in exchange. I had to run their trash out, so it took me a little longer
That's fair.
than the usual pillaging.
Yeah, Turbo, without spoiling it for everybody else, yeah, I was just thinking that stuff on the fly. I was just bored out of my mind, so like you just gave me something to do for like 40 minutes.
I'm
So
telling you, it's brilliant. I'm so serious. Like
it was
coming
a
up with all that
legit
on the
just
fly
head
worked
empty
really
moment.
well.
Oh. Also, I don't know if you saw my last message to you, but did you ever get that figured out, or did we have to discuss that?
No, I did get that figured out. Hang on. Were you looking for like a specific name or just a path?
Path and background, name too.
Okay.
I just want to see where I need to
But I
be
don't have
at.
it. I
If
don't have it
I,
entirely figured out yet.
yeah, like whatever you
Hang on.
have available, just send it to me, and then we can work through it on there when we get to it. Like we're all just gonna have to shame AJ as soon as he gets here for being late. I'm down for that.
Yep.
Shame the tree
There you go.
man.
I hope you aren't late to your courtrooms, law boy.
Yeah, for real.
Got him.
Sorry, dog. We're gonna be your professor. Door's locked. You're gonna come back next week. Get the notes from a friend.
He's gonna be facing a tribunal later at the end of that
That's,
situation.
that's right. You don't have any friends because you're always fucking late.
This day, we are here to gather for the tribunal court of Air Force. We're constantly being late for his D&D campaign. How do you plead? Guilty! Done. Like, I didn't get to make a
Sentence is
counter
death.
argument!
Lilith, whack his pee.
Whack his pee-pee.
Bailiff, frag that guy.
Shut the fuck up.
uh,
Soundboard Taco Bell get here.
it's great. I
Who
had
did you
to.
buy a soundboard?
No, that was
Leo
me.
has a soundboard.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
all me. I was like, I have to wait. I have a golden opportunity moment right now. I taught her Vogray the other day, which was kind of nice for a change. I did not know anything about raids. I was like, cool, I'll take the raid. I don't care. I wasn't doing anything in particular.
Nice.
All right. Well, I feel like starting. We'll just fill in AJ as soon as he gets here. That way we're not.
Oh,
Oh, lo and fucking behold, here's Late Boy.
He was he was just waiting. For
Oh,
you to
he
give us
was
what you're waiting
waiting.
for him.
Hello.
He fell out of the tree.
Bailiff, whack his pee.
Bold of you to assume I have one.
Mother.
oh wait, they kill you for that in Florida. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Way to go, Digless.
Ooh.
Alrighty. It has been a long time since we've had a session, and the next session will be way later because next week is Christmas. Which is fine. We'll probably plan that out accordingly. But anyways, welcome everybody here. Winter is taking a day for themselves, so we will be continuing on without her. But the last time that we were here, you all finished your little journey trip to the abandoned mansion in the north part of forest of Venmire, where you fought some really juiced up goblins and some really juiced up bandits. And towards the end of that battle, both Panda and Air Force, you noticed that on the back of the goblins' necks and on the necks of the bandits, there was a glowing mark that was shining. Air Force was the only one to recognize exactly for what it was and warned everybody to get out of there. And you have succeeded in escaping and saving the civilians that were in the makeshift cell. Upon successfully reviving one of the captives, was a young drow who said that there were two more people still inside the manor before passing out. And as the drow said this, Ware felt a sudden strong urge to wander into the forest. Before doing so, has made sure that all of you are still in tip-top shape, has healed up most of the prisoners as healthy as they could get. Told you all that she will be back, and just wandered off into the forest and disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Shows up, heals the sick. leaves.
Leaves.
Define heal.
I guarantee she'll
Yeah.
rise after 3 days.
It is me, children. Where? Ugh. Also, apologies if I suddenly randomly cut out. I'm still recovering from COVID and got a wicked cough. So if I'm in a monologue and I go away for like 3 seconds and resume back, just pretend that it was normal.
Ah, yes.
The
I
COVID of
too
beyond ages.
disappear.
Ugh.
Sometimes I do not vibe with this universe.
All right. What would you all like to do?
I think
we-
I'm kind of hanging out until the drow wakes up.
All right.
Beast.
Just been kind of hanging out. I'm gonna find just probably like a spot by a tree or something to
What you doing, man? You know, just hanging
write the
around.
story. Yeah, just write the story for the
Waiting
events
for this
today.
drow to wake up.
All right. Well, you are waiting for this drought to wake up. I'm gonna go ahead and just
Don't put them back in the building.
Oh,
It's
no.
on
Nah.
fire. I
Canonic-
saved them all.
They're canonically out of the building. I didn't just yeet them
No!
back into the fire.
They're jumping back in.
They're going back
What
in.
did the goblins do to them?
He's pulling his cock out.
Fine, I'll put them back.
Bad hostages. Sit.
All right. So Turbo, you're gonna stay with the drought until he wakes up. Air Force, what do you feel like doing?
I guess I'm just gonna scout around and just see like if there's any stragglers or if there's anything else around like the perimeter.
Okay. Go ahead and just roll me a perception check for that. While you're doing
Okay.
that, Hand on Wraith, is there anything you want to do?
We were here and like around when he said like there were 2 more, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the 2 crew. That becomes
No.
a 6.
Big.
The biggest of 6s. With a 6, you don't find anything out of the ordinary. Besides the
How much
fact
of the
that
manor is left?
oh, it's still standing. I pointed out whenever because I believe you looked inside of it just to check. Where you know what? I should probably mark the rest of this. Where's my thing? There you are. Oh, it's a hotter pink, but that works. The
Hot.
hallway where it was basically the firing line squad of goblins and bandits, that's all destroyed. The top part of the second floor where the chair is at, where the goblin was, where Air Force discovered that glowing rune in the back of the goblin's neck, that's all destroyed. And the small chamber next to the wall where these other 2 bands were destroyed. You haven't gone too far into the manor to see what the rest of the situation is like.
So, if we were here when the drow was like, there were 2 more, Onyx is definitely just going to start walking towards the entrance of the manor and looking in and looking to see like if there are any direct paths.
Yeah, he said there were 2 more and a man with a white mask.
Wait, Arden, didn't you say you seem to know something about the blowing up goblins? Did you make
Yes,
them blow up?
I did not make them blow up. The magic that was used there was very similar to what I've seen in the past. Very similar to Valahads magic.
Ah, it isn't he? Isn't it that old fuck that's been gone for like long
was
A
time?
very long time, yes. but it seems there are still whispers of his power.
On goblins. His chosen people.
Pano, go ahead and go and. I'm trying to figure out. You would roll for this.
I'm still stuck on goblins as chosen people. Give me a second.
Yeah, no, trust me, me too. I was like, yeah, we're really sticking with that sentence. It's Goblin Slayer all over again, ladies and gentlemen.
Chosen people. Well, why else would they have his magic?
Oh, look at this. D&D Beyond is so festive. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check to make sure that where you're walking inside the manor is sound. Like it's not going to crack on you.
Investigation, you say? Okay.
Don't worry. I'll
Prepping
help
to
you out with that
fail.
Investigation. Everything looks fine to me.
I rolled a 1. Oh, you tripped.
I got a 2
I-
actually, but I have a -1, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you
I thought
so you
I thought you
actually
were giving the hell.
So you actually trip. You walk in and you
Oh, I'm
crotch
not going in,
yourself.
I'm just looking at the floor to make sure.
Hey Wraith, guess what? Hey Wraith, guess what?
What?
I rolled a 2 and I have a -1, so I was...
Okay, so you walk in and you trip on a random piece of rock.
Looks alright, fine to me.
And as he says that, you
Seems to
just
be a
fall
pretty nice place
flat,
to walk around in.
you fall flat
Alright, if
first
it looks
into
fun,
the
I'm gonna run right
concrete.
in. I'm just gonna like, if I trust John, if he says it looks alright, I'm gonna full sprint into the door. We have each other's back. He would never try to hurt me.
Yeah. You fall.
Aw.
Shit. Eyes must not be what they used
And,
to.
and you look over at John, he just
Oh,
kind of
shit.
gives you like a blank look and just kind of like slightly grins, but like it goes back to like
just
a
kind of looking down, genuinely curious as to how you tripped.
yeah.
It's wait. So did I trip or did I actually fall like in the floor?
You fall on top of the floor.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to make sure that I didn't fall into the floor somehow and clip into the back rooms.
Yeah, no
Someone
back
has
rooms
very small
adventure
perception
time
in this
for
matter.
you.
Oh. John, I think your eyes need to be checked a little bit.
What do you mean? I didn't see anything wrong. I think you might have just tripped over your own feet.
You know, you might be right. I'm gonna believe you. I think you might be right. But yeah, I want to walk in and like look for any sort of, I guess like, I want to look for the 2 other survivors, see if there's any trace of them left.
All right.
I will also join, because I want to do something.
I'm gonna put your clone over here.
And is John gonna leave Braun to protect the drow, or is Braun and John coming with me?
Braun is canonically 30 feet behind John.
Yeah. Air Force, what are you doing? You joining Panda and Wraith, or you just stick behind and keep an eye on Turbo?
I'll join up with them.
Alright. Turbo was by himself.
I was gonna say, so as we all walk in, I'm just gonna look and say, Lovejoy,
That
you
way.
think you're gonna be okay if we leave you by yourself?
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll holla if anything happens.
He's a good bit tougher than he looks.
I know he's a good bit tougher than he looks, but I don't trust that drow.
Why are you racist?
And there it
You
is.
shouldn't hold prejudices against someone just because of the way they look, friend.
Oh,
I saw
God,
him.
so much.
I saw him. We were in a
No way
room
to
with many
live.
survivors, and he didn't tell me that there were others while this was blowing up and while I was getting them out. How was that trustworthy?
Well, he right passed out, didn't he? Methinks he may not have been in the best state.
You ran out of the door when I was getting people out before. He had time.
Are you understanding the concept of survival instincts, friend?
That I am, and when I survived, I could still speak.
Yes, he could too, and then he passed out. What part are you
Well,
not
that's his problem.
understanding here?
That's his
Yes,
problem.
exactly. That is true. There is nothing suspicious about that situation at all.
Dear God.
Maybe not to you.
Or not to anyone except you, I guess.
I'm gonna say that as you're having this very reverent conversation, you're exploring the first chamber of the manor.
Just saying,
Anybody
you should
wanna-
probably examine your biases. I'm gonna roll a perception check.
Fantastic.
That is a 17 plus 4 becomes 21.
All right. Well, you're in the very begin. Did you move anywhere? Or are you still in the beginning chamber?
I am looking around.
All right. From that roll, you can see that beyond the explosion damage from the suicides, goblins and the bandits, this place is very ancient, elven in origin from the craftsmanship. And you can see from the faded tapestries a sigil from a long lost house that I'm sure you would not recognize right off the bat.
This looks to be an elven place. Very old, looks like. You think they have any wine left in the cellar? Go to elven
One
wine.
gets better when it's aged, doesn't it?
It does.
So let's go look for it. Maybe the survivors are in the cellar with the wine.
Probably a pretty safe place, underground, after all.
Plenty of fortification, especially those barrels are resilient. Water can't get out, so
They
they
could
gotta
have
be
hidden
tight.
inside one of the barrels if one was empty.
They must have. Having all the wine. Let's go find them. To the wine cellar.
Saw a documentary once about a man surviving an explosion by hiding in a vessel like a wine barrel.
Really, I saw once a man, and I assume we're saying this as we're like walking towards like the only open corner. It's like,
Yeah.
I once saw a man pull off a
Yeah.
waterfall and a tight barrel came out on the other side, no problem. Barrels are a lot stronger than people give them credit for.
That's true. They're usually nailed shut.
Arden, go ahead and give me a perception check too. Roll with advantage whenever Wraith saw pointed out the tapestries.
There's a roll, you see the conversation keep going. Well, I hope he wasn't nailed shut after he got in there, but when I saw him, he was over the top and he was breathing and kicking when he hit to the bottom.
Oh. Or
You
maybe
think he
was-
survived in a smeg?
What the fuck is a smeg?
Look it up.
How?
I don't know. I don't know what was asked. I'm so scared to ask what was asked. Give me
How
that
are you
perception
supposed to
roll,
do that?
please. I beg of you.
Video with you, Arden. It's actually as fuck don't. Give me a copy of what was your fucking title? Riva or Revenant or something? You got an almanac made specifically for you that has that word and its definition within.
Oh, maybe it's one of the
Yes,
made up words
clearly.
that he's hold himself in the forest.
It's a forest word taught to you by the sprites.
Could be a sprite, could be a small animal that we haven't seen yet.
Arden looks
what
on
kind of
as if
animal is-
remembering a past
what kind of-
life.
Arden, you never answered the question. And I
Don't
ask
worry.
again with
Don't
emphasis.
worry about it.
How?
Wait,
Don't worry about it.
wait, he said look it up. Maybe he didn't mean to say tub. Maybe we just look up and I'm gonna look at the ceiling to see if he's talking about something
Good
on the
idea.
ceiling.
Yes,
Arden,
you see
there's no words on the ceiling.
crudely drawn. It's just the word smeg.
Oh my
He's got to be
Med?
fucking with us.
Oh, I am.
I'm pretty sure I saw him write that there before we walked in the hallway.
I mean, I'm sure it seems like he can get to high places pretty easy. We did find him in a tree.
That's true. That's true. Everyone knows if you can climb a tree, you can climb a wall.
100%, no doubt.
Them's the rules.
Oh my god.
Leo, have we found the wine cellar yet?
Cool. By the way, the wine cellar would be over here. You can't access it though because shit collapsed. Please give me that perception check, Airports. I
I
am
can
begging
smell the
you.
wine. We're close.
That's a nat 1. This ground is made of ground.
Did you roll that with advantage?
Oh no.
Roll another nat 1 or you're a bitch.
How's a nat 5 sound? So with investigation, that becomes a +4. So it's a 9.
A 9.
With a 9? Alright, with a 9 that you... The tapestry is somewhat faded and it's been eaten through by bugs, so you can't get the full picture, but it does bring back some memories, but you would probably have to, like, cross-reference it back into a library of some sorts. But you will keep a note of the general shape and idea so that you, whenever you do go to investigate, you can come back.
Alrighty.
Turbo, how are you doing outside, buddy?
Chilling, I think.
You're dead. Surprise.
That was a riveting conversation.
Yeah,
I knew my
just
instincts
hanging
were
out with
right.
I'm just hanging out with the drow and the other survivors, and making sure nobody else jumps us or anything like that.
Alrighty.
Is there any way further into the manor back here?
From there, no. The way that this manor works is this hallway connects to this hallway. Granted, this
Who the
is
fuck designed
all
this place?
this place don't work
This
all too well
seems to
because it
just be
collapsed in.
abandoned. It doesn't
If
go
you
anywhere.
want to progress forward,
Oh,
you
damn.
should probably go check over.
Right, well, I guess we better go back the way we came, see if there's a new path to the wine.
It's gotta be
I don't
through
know
here
why.
somewhere.
It was gonna be
This
episode
room
2,
has a
The
circle
Adventures
in
of the
it.
Wine
I think it's
Brigade.
a clue.
It's a wine fountain.
It's dry with age. Perhaps. Must be closer nearby. Is this a staircase in here?
Yes.
I'm going to go into the room that is barely big enough to accommodate me.
Yeah, as you're trying to fit in that room, it's like a small broom closet. And you were like struggling to get your full body
Why
mass
did they
into
build
there.
this? There's not enough room to fit anything in here.
Oh.
Maybe you can fit things behind the door. You want me to shut it to see if it gives you more room?
No. I think we should probably check out the stairs. Did they go
Alright.
down?
Well, you aren't even at the staircase yet.
I will walk through these doors and ascend the
There you are.
staircase.
Arden, are you still hanging out in the main hall, or are you with them?
I'm with them.
Alright, I'm just gonna tweak it here.
They still haven't told me what a smeg is.
Yeah, we're moving on past that. Please and thank you.
Don't worry about it.
Apparently, it's a home
As-
appliance company.
As you climb up the staircase in this one section of the manor, you can hear people talking the next floor above you.
Wait. I'm going to try to listen in on these people that are talking on the next floor above us.
You want to roll a perception check for me just to see how much of the conversation you can hear. That'd be great. All three of
I
you.
got a 9.
You got a
Can
9.
I give him the help action by cupping his ears so he can hear better?
What an
Sure.
image. What an
Sure.
image.
You know what? It made me laugh. It made me chuckle. Go ahead and
Onyx
give
just
him the
hops on
action.
John's back like a backpack.
No, John. It's like, no, John, you're not listening. Trust me. I used to be able to hear fish swim through the floor, and I'll just cup his ears towards this guy, towards the noise.
I've never
Yeah.
seen a fish swim through the floor. I got a 19 on that.
You got a 19?
Why did the fish
Fantastic.
swim through the floor?
Oh my god.
They don't swim in the floor. They swim under the floor on a boat.
Arden, what'd you get? I'm just curious.
Is it a perception check?
Floor
Yes.
of a boat is called the hull.
I don't care what
That's
it's
an
called.
8.
I just cared that it was stable.
Plus 4 is 12.
All right. So with a 19 and 12, you can hear two people having a conversation. One sounds like he's struggling to breathe. You know, trying to think of how he would sound. I'm not gonna make it sound like he's choking because that's easier to like fucking edit and crop. Yeah. Like,
John, if you hear anyone choking, cut my ears too, alright?
oh dear God. I will smite you where you stand. You will get smited, and it's gonna be the freaking Taco sound when you die. Don't you try me. Oh my God. What a fantastic start to a session. It's 33 minutes in, and you went on a journey for wine, and then you're really into like someone being choked for some odd reason. I'm so glad we're learning all this about your character.
Into someone being choked. It's good information. Duh.
Whatever.
Nice. Deceptions.
I don't understand. We did what you asked for. Explain to me where we failed, sir. Well, my dear fellow, you costed me and my associates a fair deal of products, and when I signed you up for it, you knew exactly what you were going into. Man, my brain was not working there for a split second. You knew exactly what you signed up for. My terms
When
and
I know
conditions.
what I signed up for.
Yes. You know exactly the terms and conditions of my contract. They are as plain as day. And
It's the Mighty Ranger
you
iTunes.
failed to provide, so to speak. So, by my contract rules and stipulations, I have no need for you anymore. I will assume all of your men left over as my property, and they'll be led underneath my command. For you, my good fellow, I have no need. And with that, you hear glass breaking and rocks falling as the building tower segment that you're in shakes violently. And all is quiet afterwards.
Sounds like there's an independent contractor above us.
The worst kind.
Oh my God.
He also might
At least
be a
he's not a
slaver,
cooperative
maybe.
contract. A slaver.
An independent contract slaver.
I wonder what are all of our opinions on slaves.
Question. Did Francis see anything happen outside?
Passive perception of 14.
Yeah, with that 14, you definitely see a body being thrown through a part of a window in a wall. Going quite a fair bit away, past the gate where you climbed up for.
Like, he got yeeted this way?
Yeah,
Holy fucking shit!
yeah, he got thrown. And as you see that, Turbo, I let you have the choice of either going to investigate or stick around with the captives that you rescued.
How close did his body land to me?
From where he flew to where he landed, he's roughly 15, 20 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna go to his body.
Mm-hmm.
He's whipping his cock out.
And I'm just gonna see if it was the fall or if he was already dead before he got thrown out of the window.
That's fair. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check for that.
Because I need to know if my friends are in danger or if they just sent this guy out a fucking window.
Uh-huh.
If no context for a man being thrown 20 feet.
With a 17, so with a 17, you notice that from his wounds, he was dead on the impact of being thrown through the wall. Half his head is gone.
Oh,
Wait. So when he landed on the ground, half of his head entered the back rooms. It's gone.
Sure. His body is a writhing, twisting hunk of flesh and bones.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he was
pull out
dead.
I'm gonna pull out my dagger and slip it into the side of his head to stop him from moving. Because at that point he's just suffering.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
With that, I'll say he's dead. I'm not even gonna try to roll to contest that.
yeah. I'm just gonna
Now enter
just
initiative.
put it in the side of his head so he dies. And I'm gonna kind of look up to the window that he got thrown out of.
So when you
I
look up
assume that
to,
window kind of overlooks this part of the manor. I assume it's like over here somewhere,
Mhm.
just on like a second story.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not tall. That tower itself is only roughly about 50 feet, 60 feet. It's not super tall. But you'll notice that looking into the hole where uh this unfortunate bastard has been like thrown through a wall, you'll notice a figure standing in the open hole. And I'm gonna try to widen them out so everybody can see. But you see this character, uh, just standing out, looking upon the wilderness, and you notice that you and him both make eye contact.
You should sneak up there and see what's happening.
Which one of us was that?
I'm gonna. Well, I guess
Oh,
there's no
fucking
pretending. I guess
sneaky
there's
one.
no pretending that I didn't see him. I'm gonna call out to him. And I'm just gonna say, that was a pretty good throw, but you have to finish the job first.
You'll notice that as you say that to him, he just like kind of like cocks his head down. He's wearing a Harlequin mask, so you can't read any of his facial expressions. But you'll notice you get the weird feeling that he's looking at you like you would look at when stamping on an ant.
Mm-hmm.
And he just gently bows his head, looks back up, and then vanishes.
Like walk back, or literally just completely.
Oh, he just completely like vanishes, like a snap of his fingers. He's just gone.
Probably should have asked to sneak up there sooner. I apologize.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna
like
move.
like how Wraith runs his campaign. Stuff happens if you're not quick enough.
I'm gonna move our drow friend into this room with the rest of them.
Is there still another guy up there?
Oh no, that was
And
the guy that
then-
Turbo went to look for. I'll just put him right here for context sake.
Oh, okay.
And then
For
with
some-
him
I thought there
gone,
were three people there.
I'm gonna go back to his body, and I'm gonna see if he's got like a note or anything on him to see like
Okay.
if he's got any kind of identification materials, any like written orders or anything like that on him.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an investigation check and see what you can find.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll try to sneak up around him because I don't know that he vanished. I'm just going to try to sneak up and see him. And I assume when I get up there, I'm going to see that he's gone. And I'm going to let people know there was someone here, but he's gone now.
Was it the Joker?
I don't think it was a Joker. He looked more like a sidekick.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that because you didn't get there quick enough to see what he looks like. Only Turbo got to see what he looks like.
We'll have to ask Lovejoy if he looked like the Joker.
I bet he looked like the Joker.
Like, oh, what'd you get for your investigation, Turbo?
11.
11? Alright, with an 11, you find some notes, documents, explaining his orders of finding the cargo, shipping the cargo. But you'll notice an after note written down on what was supposed to be stolen. Let me message that to you right now. But you find no other discernible details of anything that would describe his identification.
Francis,
Yeah.
do you know why they tried to steal my stuff?
No. Nothing other than the orders that they already had to just steal it.
The fuck?
Did you see the guy that threw him out here?
No, He sounded like he was kind of attractive.
A little.
He had that kind of voice to him, you know.
I get it. That's a little weird, but
I didn't see him, so I'm going off what I know.
He did sound like someone that would throw someone out the window, but not like someone that would choose. Someone that was
Not
told
like
to throw
not
someone
like
out
a
the window.
strong way, and more like a
Yeah, like an acrobatic kind of way.
yeah. You know what I mean?
yeah, just get out here.
Less like Batman and more like
A Joker?
yeah, exactly.
No, Joker adjacent.
Joker adjacent to avoid copyright.
Yeah, he did. He actually did look like that. He did look Joker adjacent to avoid copyright. Listen, get out of there, if you can.
Yeah, it wasn't Joker, it was Jokester.
Ah, of course, my favorite villain.
Ah, yes, Jokester and his sidekick Harmony Quinn.
There's something here about taking these 15 hostages in the cargo to a hideout, so they might come looking for their stuff. Something
Are
about.
they awake yet?
I mean, I don't believe we found any cargo other than the people.
I think the people are the cargo.
The people
I-
might be the people
I
might be
wasn't
the cargo,
shipping
but
people though. Where do these people come from?
We're not saying
don't
you're
know.
shipping people.
So I'm confused. You know, there should be a couple of crates of ale around here.
That might have been the wine we were smelling in the hallway. It might have gotten crushed
Ale
in the,
doesn't
in the
smell like
collapse.
wine, friend. I don't know
Well, you
what
said
kind of
ale and
tavern you're
others.
running, but
You said
should
ale
know
and
that.
others. You don't just get ale, you get ale and others for anyone of any background.
just
I'm mostly,
get out here as quick as you can.
I'm mostly stock ale actually, because all of my customers are dock workers. They don't really drink wine.
Oh, I didn't know that all of your customers. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bar on the
Never-
docks,
Yeah.
owned
Well,
by
it's a
one
bit of
John Dockerman, does indeed serve primarily dock
it's a bit
workers.
of a difference in clientele. I'm fucking sorry. Jesus
Um,
Christ. I came on the docks. I don't fucking live there. I don't know
What?
who comes and doesn't.
He did what on the docks, mate?
I come on the docks. What's hard to understand about that? Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure that's a crime of indecency.
when y'all get out here,
How
I'm
do you
gonna
know what's
hand
decent,
I'm gonna
what's
hand John
bad?
the note.
Arden clutches his
No.
cross.
Not the ghost. We're facing a crazy
Vendrick.
man that can go Ultra Instinct. I'm terrified.
Does anybody know who Vendrick is?
I'm gonna history check that one.
I don't believe I've ever met a Vendrick.
I've got a 17 to see if I've heard the name, but I don't.
Despite that fantastic 17 roll, that name Vendrick doesn't even ring a bell for me.
Lamar?
Pain and suffering.
No. You know, roll with disadvantage whenever you try to roll for that history check.
Traverse, and Lamar.
I'm not thinking very hard. Just the name jump out because I'm not rolling for it.
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
But now, Airfoot, what's your history check for that? Do not roll with disadvantage. I was only fucking kidding.
Well, if he's thinking about Vendrick Lamar, then he's thinking about the wrong person.
I swear to God, it's not
Vendrick
fucking Vendrick
Lamar.
Lamar. It is not.
It's only the hottest elf rapper of our age.
I got a 16.
All right, with a 16,
3 notable albums come to mind.
Vendrick does come up in your mind. You know that there.
Yeah, it comes up on my Spotify recap.
Ah, yeah. You
I'm
know
sorry.
what?
I'm sorry.
You know what?
I'm
You
sorry.
don't know who this is. Anyways, moving on.
I cup his brain so he can think hard.
No, you want that hot air to escape because holy shit, his brain's gonna overcook. But with that, you know that there's a few people over in the Republic, who are named Vendrick, that have had some shady past dealings, but without a last name, you are unsure.
Noted.
John,
As this
I've
is
got to
going
ask
on
you.
Turbo, you'll notice that the
Oh.
drow is slowly starting to wake up again.
All right. I'm gonna make note of that, but I'm gonna ask John real quick. I go, John, I know you weren't paying to travel people from Kingdom Come. Is it
Yep.
possible that anybody you might have contracted to do it might have been offering people rides, or
I'd imagine I'd be a pretty good one to vet my contractors, given my history and occupation.
yeah, I would hope so too. And this isn't, I don't know, maybe the fuck up of some driver picking up hitchhikers on the way to Vinmire, but
Yeah,
Fuck me,
it's a lot of fucking hitchhikers.
I was about to say 15 is a lot of fucking people, and I know you're not running a carriage operation, so I don't know. I'm gonna go talk to our friend over there and see if maybe see if he remembers why he was on that carriage. As he kind of starts to wake up, I'm gonna pull out like just like a little canteen of water for him to drink as he kind of starts to come to again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna pull out like half a loaf of bread I've got in my pack. Kinda
As he's
hand him
waking up,
something to get his blood sugar up.
yeah, as he's waking up, he sees that you're offering bread and water, and he's a little bit hesitant to grab it at first, but recognizes that you're one of the people who has, saved him and nursed him back to health. So he takes the bread and the water, just
I'll
nibbles on the bread.
snickerdoodle if you want.
He looks at you and goes, "No, those are nasty," and continues to eat the bread and water,
Francis, kill that guy.
refusing to eat the snickerdoodle.
Arden looses a bow through his eye. Or
Like,
looses an arrow.
now that he was
You know what?
meat-eating,
Actually,
we
no.
really
Fuck
want
you.
him to
He
survive.
looses the bow. He just fucking chucks his bow at this guy, and it fucking impales his skull.
Can I try to catch the bow?
I'm gonna ask him how he's feeling.
Feeling like shit. You try surviving 2 days getting your fucking shit kicked in by a wild fucking goblin.
I mean,
I remember my youth.
we came here to
Yeah, College
the
Rush Week
cargo.
was
We
wild
weren't
for
expecting
John.
to find.
We weren't expecting
We
special
weren't expecting to
forces.
find 15 of you locked in a room, half all of you beaten half to death.
Correction.
Oh,
6.
6. Wait a minute. 6. Hold on. Oh, I don't like that math.
I'm not good with numbers, but I think there's less than 15 people out here.
I have a note of a body that we recovered that says there were 15 of you traveling with this cargo that we came to recover. Where did the... Do you know where they took the remaining 9 of the group you were with?
Well, the group they were traveling with came upon a group that were making a delivery going the same way. Figured that we would eventually come upon the same place when we ambushed by those goblins and bandits who were working together. My group only had 10 people. The rest were part of the original group making that delivery. I don't know where they went. The big boss only wanted my group, it seems, to stay here for a few days until he decided to do whatever he wanted with us. I don't know what happened to the other group.
Why was your original group of 10 traveling in the direction of Venmai?
We're making our way to a town further north. We have family up there, just making general supplies. Our original stop at the end of that journey was to make our way through the Grand Mountain Pass to the Republic.
Oh, wait, if you were supposed to be heading north, why were you heading south with a delivery crew?
No, same direction. They were going north.
Oh, do I have the map backwards?
Yeah, they were.
Venmai was south and we were traveling north.
Yeah, no, you were.
Whoops!
Yeah, you were traveling north. Yeah, you got me confused. Yeah, the caravan
Wait,
and the
okay,
this
wait,
group
what?
were going in the exact same direction. They were going north, up through the wilderness to the town.
Wait,
How?
wait, hold on. I
Why
need
am I having my own ale delivered somewhere else?
I don't know. You tell me.
Hold on.
Motherfucker, this was not my choice. You tell me.
Hang on,
Ah.
You were delivering it to a phenomenal party.
What was
hang on.
Oh, you have general tradings in that town going off to the Republic. Your constant trades are going back and forth between that town, which is like a stopping point, which will be transferred off to another caravan that pays you for that ale when it comes back. They were going up further north to make that delivery run.
All right. What kind of information were they trying to get out of you? I mean, there's no reason to take 10 people hostage and then beat them to death unless you need something from them. So,
Information. Look at me. Do I even look like somebody who would even be remotely anywhere near any valuable information?
I'm insight checking the fuck out of that.
Go ahead.
So ask our
Is
drow
this some
a
kind of
common race?
insinuation that poor people can't hold information? Because, my friend, do we have to have a conversation about your personal biases?
With an
What?
18, you can definitely tell that he straight up means what he means. He's an asshole right now because, like he said, he's gotten his shit kicked in for like 2 days from goblins. He's beaten up, he's bloody, so he's gonna have an attitude. But he genuinely means what he means. From his garb, he looks more like a farmhand than anything else.
Leo,
All right.
are drow one of like exotic races like I am, or are they fairly common?
No, common.
Okay.
Sorry.
So they kidnapped 10 farmhands to just beat up for fun. Fuck me. You are the most unlucky motherfucker I might have ever met in my life.
He just kind of looks at you and goes like, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lovejoy, can I try something?
What are you gonna try? He's...
Drow, what's your name?
Emmerich.
Alright, Emmerich, I have a question for you. Did they only start beating you, or did they do different things to you? Any sort of magic applied? Anything like that?
No, just beat us senseless. I don't know if it was because they were bored or they wanted to make sure he wouldn't try anything fucking stupid.
Did they do it to all you in the same room? Or did they separate you?
They usually kept us separated. The
Is
only
there any
time,
other-
the only time
Go
that
ahead.
they would beat us was being put into a different room. Other than that, our sleeping quarters were generally in the same area. They didn't want to totally, mentally break the other poor bastards who were getting their daily rounds. as they
see any of
separate.
your... I don't think I have a way to check for that. I don't know if I would have the know-how to do an Arcana check to see if he's got the same ailment that the guys we killed got.
What's your Arcana at right now?
It's only a +1. But like, I'm not really like well versed in that kind of magic whatsoever. I wouldn't even really be knowing what to like look for.
Yeah. I feel like the only way I would even like allow you to like have like a good enough chance to roll for that is if you were like to talk to your patron. But I don't know how your patron operates, so therefore I won't even
Yeah, that's
entertain
fine.
that idea.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm in the
I
same
will
boat.
say though that if you wanted to have somebody else in Venmire look this up for you, who would have the know-how, you could very well bring this guy back with you. You would have to certainly try to, convince him.
Hey, do you want to go up to where the people that kidnapped you are, or would you like to go somewhere safe instead?
Go into the metaphorical dragon's den where I've got my ass kicked for 2 days. No.
That's an hour pile of rubble.
Yeah, you
It
missed
seems
it.
like
I
he
think.
wants to come back
Come back,
to Venmire with
Alright.
us.
Look, we're going back to Venmire. You're more than welcome to come with us. I can help you find work. I mean, how good are you with a pen?
You willing to put in the coin for me to learn?
Sure.
You know how to lift crates?
Or you can
I
do that.
was a farmhand by trade.
That's basically the same thing as a dock worker. I could find you work for sure.
Yeah.
Good pay,
Alright.
good benefits too.
We can help you and the rest of your crew here.
We should probably get them back home to their families first. They don't belong out
Where would
here.
that be exactly?
From where you are at on the map. Let me bring that up. You know what? Let me do this one. On the map, where you guys are at, I will say that you are right about there. So the next, actually, grab. Why can't I grab? I can't do that. You're about right here. You're right smack in between Venmire and the closest established village. So you can make your choice of either going all the way back to Venmire or going to that village.
How long is the trip from the village to Venmire?
Same day, same time frame. You spent a
Okay.
day and a half, or no, you spent a day. You spent a day getting up there. So a day.
So it's basically 2 days to get to Venmire from the village.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't love it, but I'm cool with that if you guys are. If you guys want to help these people out.
Wait, they're going to their families? I thought they were traveling north to go to the village.
Yeah, they have family in the village apparently.
Where were they coming from then?
I don't know. Maybe they were coming from Venmire, or they were coming from cabins or something. Didn't know.
I'll sort of. Okay. I'll sort of look to him and say, how many of you feel confident traveling on your own?
I'll say that a few of them raise their hands that they would be more than willing to travel. You would probably have to sacrifice a few of your supplies to make sure they can make it there, since they don't have anything really. But other than
I'll pull
that,
up. Alright, so if you think you're confident enough to travel, come to me, and I'll wait for them all to come to me specifically. Like, how many are there? Like 2, 3?
there's 5.
Alright,
So like it's everybody but the drow.
okay. How many of you are traveling together, or are you all going in the same group?
They're all going in the same group.
All right then. To the two strongest, I'll hand each of them a dagger. To the one that looks most dexterous, I'll hand a bow and my arrows. I'll say, all right, here's what you do, because now someone's gonna be looking for you. If you hear a carriage coming on the road, hide in the bushes until you find out if they're friendly or not. If they are friendly, and I'm gonna give each of them 5 gold, pay them to get you as far as you can. Once you get you to the village, the rest should get your food and medicine and a way back to your families. You all understand?
They all generally nod their heads, yes.
All right, phenomenal. Godspeed to all of you. Get there safe. All right, we're good to go to Venmire.
I was going to say, before we fully decide on where to go here, there's definitely some people apparently kidnapping people and selling them into slavery around this place. I'd like to find that, but, obviously we have no fucking leads at all since.
Yeah, I'd like to check with some of my contacts back in Venmire. Police, maybe, if they've had any rumblings of kidnappings and that sort of stuff. Because I know, like the whole slavery and indentured servitude thing's kind of a gray area for some parts of this, but kidnapping people into that can't be legal, right?
Well, slavery's
It's
bad
not,
and good.
but it does happen.
That's a gray area.
No,
I can
slavery's
change
bad.
that.
No,
Slavery's
slavery's bad. I mean, but once you're in it, you're kind of in it.
like a gray area legally, of course, but
Because I would definitely like to, eliminate the bandits and shit that's doing everything bad up here. But if we don't really have any leads, I suppose we have to go back
Hang
to
on.
Venmire.
Mhm.
Drow, what did you say your name was again?
Emmerich.
Emmerich. All right.
Almost forgot what his name
How
was.
far did you travel after they attacked your little caravan? Did they take you anywhere else before you came to the manor?
No.
Any sort of landmarks at all? And anything that might be of use to help us find out where these guys might have come from? Because if they're attacking caravans with people, they're gonna attack everybody no matter what. Because attacking a caravan of 15 people, some armed, some unarmed, still, that takes manpower, that takes decision making, skill. It's not something just a handful of bandits could pull off. It would take a little more than that. They're well organized, they're more likely well armed, and we gotta find a way to at least somehow make this route secure, because we're not sure, at least I'm not sure, how much help we could bring from the city to help secure this road.
The only path we traveled was on the main road through this forest. Though I did hear that they were going to make a stop at the fort, but I have no clue where this fort would even be at.
I'm gonna call out to the travelers. Have any of y'all heard a rumor of a bandit fort nearby? Could be days travel, could be 2 days. Any sort of camps, any sort of rumblings at all.
Most of them shake their head no. Save
Yeah.
for like one elderly gentleman, like the oldest of the group. Going, well, if anything, rumor had to say it by. There's was an old fortress back during the Great War. That it's in ruins. I don't know where it's at, but I know it's somewhere in the northern parts of Venmire's forest. Be a good place as any to.
I'm
to
gonna
find.
pull out a blank piece of paper and I'm gonna draw a little square and write Venmire underneath it, the road, and then like a triangle for their village. And like just a very roughly drawn map of the area, and I'm gonna ask him if he can draw where this fort might have been. In this forest, I'm gonna hand it to him. I'm like, can you mock it based off your memory?
And as he does so, he will show off a quick little mark somewhere off right here on the coastline. He's like, general area of where this supposed fort used to be at during the Great War. I heard stories about it when I was no a wee lad, but was always told to stay away.
I'm gonna look to Braun and I'm gonna say, have any of you heard any sailors talking about some fort? I mean, I assume if it's on the coastline, it was likely used for some kind of defense. Maybe have they heard any rumors of a ruined fort visible from the coast? Is it a landmark sometimes the sailors use to measure how close or far they are from Venmire? Anything?
Is that something I would know?
Yeah, general dealings. Actually, the better person who would probably know would be Panda.
I was
But
gonna ask, but
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah,
He was a
like
pirate.
Panda,
He
you would
know for
pick
sure.
up on
I'm
this
gonna
too.
redirect that question to Panda instead.
yeah, because I was gonna say, considering like I'm a pirate and all that, not to mention my bar kind of like more often than I would like to admit tends to like the underground bad people. Like, would I know roughly where we're talking?
A general sense of that area. You do know there's a fort on the coastline from the old wars. There, although there's quite a few of them by like every couple 100,000 miles, there was a small outcropping, a little lookout. That would be considered like a fort and like the broad general term. But it wouldn't be hard for someone of your capability to figure out which one has had a lot more like heavy traffic from people who would occupy that fort. It would probably take you a few days to figure it out, just so you have a bit of clarification. You would have to contact some people.
Alright, I'm to be honest with you, Lovejoy. I might be able to figure something out. You gotta put some feelers out there, but I remember at least there are plenty of old forts on the coastline every 100 or so yards. Give me every some 100 or so miles. Excuse me. Give me 2 days time. I can find out where they're going.
All right, how about this? You talk to your people, see if they can narrow down its location. We'll go back to Venmire, get this man a bed, and maybe some, have him help him fill out some job applications or something. And I can talk to some of my police contacts. Maybe we get, some kind of squad together plus ourselves, and then we go back up to this fort and put an end to this. Because surely bandits attacking the main road to Venmire is not going to be good for anybody's business. They will most surely take an interest in this.
Certainly
And
makes sense to me.
if it's as many bandits as I would imagine it would be, we're going to need the manpower.
Mm-hmm.
This is fair. John, would you like to put up the trial, or would I?
I always have room.
As do I. Do you want to?
As I said, I always have room.
All right, fair enough.
All right, it's settled then. Let's I'm gonna look at the crowd of travelers going north. How many of them are armed?
Each one has a dagger. Each one given from Onyx.
Yeah, I armed them.
Like
There are
Okay.
2 daggers and a bow between the group of 5, and they all have 5 gold apiece.
yeah, so they're pretty well armed. I would be leaning up to say like if you were to go back inside and like look, you could probably find the maybe some weapons left over from the bandits. If you really want to make sure these people were kitted up, that's fine. I will agree to that.
I'm gonna pull out 2 daggers from underneath my coat, and I'm gonna hand them to the 2 that don't have anything.
All right.
That way they've at least got something. Conceal it if you have to. Don't brandish it unless you have to.
They all nod.
People, I know you all know your way around a knife.
Mhm.
Get that safely.
And with that, they nod. They thank you for the gold and the weapons, and they make their way through the forest,
I'm just gonna look at all of
vanishing
them.
within the tree line.
I'm gonna look at them and go like, all right, now if I have to save the lot of you a second time, I'm not gonna be happy about it. If you can't find a place after you go to your village, come back, find my tavern, Rain and Raven. My crew will get you set up. Week's time, understood?
They all nod as they wave you off as they make their way uh,
I'm a
towards
fucking
their village.
Did they just fucking disrespect? I swear to God. After all, I'm gonna fucking kill them.
All right. So your game plan is to head back south down to Vinmire.
Seems that way.
All right, cool. We'll say that by the magic of time, you make it there within reasonable, journey travel. Uh, Stopping regularly to make sure that the drow wounds aren't reopening, and you make it back to Venmire in the very early morning of the next day. All right, and with that, you are back in Venmire. Turbo, I'm going to assume you want to go off to the Guild House of Writers, or the police station.
I'm gonna stop at my paper first. I need to talk to my editor.
Fair enough. Air Force, what do you feel like doing? Do you feel like sticking around with Turbo or going off with Panda and Wraith?
Hey,
The
give me a
silence is
choice.
so deafening.
I was muted. I will go with Turbo.
Fair enough. All right, and Panda and Wraith, what do you two feel like doing? Are you both going off to your respected own establishments? Are you going off to one and the other?
And I'm rather invested on what happens next, to be honest.
Fair enough.
A lot of people come around my tavern.
Fair enough. Panda.
Wait, I'm probably gonna head back to mine to start getting notes out and get people spread.
Fair enough.
All
right. So with that,
and if we're
Panda.
and if we're coming with like John, if you wouldn't mind, I could borrow the drow.
I think the drow can make his own choices there, Alex. He's a sentient being.
Emmerich just kind of sheepishly looks at all of you right now. He just kind of like walks off with with you, Panda, and he's like, "To be honest, I've had my fill of the road travel. I'd much rather prefer to get to bed, and I know that Master Onyx here, almost said Oryx, Master Onyx here has some rooms available. If he's so kind as to put me up for a day, I will come back to your establishment, Mr. Braun, to figure out my employment issues."
Alright.
Oh, of course. Now come on, son. You're gonna be put up for more than a day until you can afford to pay for rent for yourself. You're gonna be slinging drinks for a couple of days until one of my people can get back with some information. While you're doing that, you'll be welcome to more to all the meals you can eat, all the meat you can drink, and all the time to fill out applications for thereafter. Understood?
And he nods his head, a smile forming, like he has a job, and he seems like he's gonna be able to do stuff. So as you and Emmerich walk off, Panda, the rest of the group goes off with Turbo to his newspaper area or his shop. I don't know why I said it.
All right. Where would I put that on this map?
Anywhere you feel like.
Wraith, can you ping your bar on this map again? If you remember
I don't
where
know
it's
what
at.
it is.
Okay.
All we know is that they're on opposite sides of the city. That's all we know.
Wow, that is a crappy red.
All right, fuck it. I like this little. I like this little spot right here. Hold on.
So there's your newspaper. And for race. All right, there we go. Cool, you got that figured out. Whoa.
Alright. Walking up to the building, you'll notice that it's a 2-story, almost like a skinny townhouse looking building with the paper in the first floor and like my little apartment above it.
Mm-hmm.
Walking into the paper, you see like there's not really like a reception area.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less just a couple of like filing cabinets with just some papers and stuff. You can there's like a light kind of in, if you head into the next room, there's like a little like desk, and you see a woman there, this half-elf woman, kind of like, I don't know, she's just editing one of the stories, the story I sent her from our previous like session. She's like going over for like grammatical errors and like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, I brought some friends here.
Oh, Mr. Lovejoy.
Everybody,
see you
meet
finally
Morgan
come back.
McHale. She is my senior editor and researcher. Morgan, this is John Braun and Onyx Raven.
She walks up to you.
Oh, I
like,
assumed I just broke off immediately and went to the bar. I didn't know I went with Turbo.
Yeah, no. Panda's off doing his own thing.
Oh.
This
oh fuck me, I got him backwards.
Yeah, you're
this
good.
This is oh fuck, what's your last name, AJ? Your Arden, what's your last name? Arden what?
Thornbearer.
Thornbearer, that's right. And this is Arden Thornbearer. Met him on a little adventure from yesterday. I'll have a new story for you on that. There's been some interesting developments. In the meantime, could you reach out to the Writers Guild office? Let them know that I'm going to be coming up there to seek out some police contacts. Anybody whose beat is the main road from north to the villages north of the Northern Forests, or anything in the Northern Forest, that main road there. Caravans have been getting attacked, people have been getting kidnapped, and there's got to be some kind of story there. Something of, regardless, bandits getting more organized and attacking sizable caravans of people, or overall government negligence, which is our favorite. So,
yes, you do so enjoy writing your newspaper articles about the government. Speaking of which, the master of the Writers Guild has sent you a letter, and as she says this, she hands you a dark red letter, and you recognize this as a official summons from the guildmaster. It would seem that Mr. Owens has requested your audience again, sir. This seems to be oh dear, 20th time this month now that he has requested your appearance. I do my best to make sure your writings are of an accord with how the paper wants to run it, but Mr. Owens always likes to make sure that everything and anything that you write in your paper is true and factual. And as she's like walking by, she like walks past like John Braun, and she's like, oh, "Dear, you eaten yet? You're looking rather thin for someone of your stature." And just keeps walking past. And she just like walks past Art and goes, "Excuse me, Mr. Thornberry," as she continues to walk back to her desk. As she goes and continues to write. that note that you requested to speak with the constable of the police force run by Venmire, and she just tunes everything out beyond that point.
I take as she walks by, I'll take the summons. I'm gonna just sigh. Stick it in my jacket pocket, and all right. Well, looks like I have two things to do at the Writers Guild now. All right. I've got a big fucking rant about that. I'll tell you on the way if you guys want to stick along. I don't know if you have anything better to do other than watch some fireworks.
Not really.
Great. Arden, this is going to be a great reminder of why you live in the fucking woods.
Arden is very, very tempted to just fuck off again.
And
Go
I'm gonna
where,
kinda,
tree
like,
man?
just turn and walk out of the paper. When I step outside, I'm gonna light a cigarette and start making my way to the Writers Guild. So, this is gonna probably be a mess. To be quite honest, I didn't know I had gotten 20 summons. I thought it was maybe like 3. I assumed that, you know, I might have missed a couple of the summons dates, and so I assumed they just kept sending me more letters.
I mean, what exactly are they? It's not like they're really gonna fucking do anything.
They're
They-
writers, yeah.
They sent you 20 summons already without doing anything about it.
They could do something when I finally show up to one of these, which unfortunately I'm gonna have to because I'm
Right.
gonna need to flex some muscle to get an audience with the constable. You're about to bear witness to a lot of the bullshit that goes on behind the scenes here. One that I have been unsuccessful in trying to change. Try as I might.
See,
I'm
that's
saying
'cause
this, like-
you keep trying to speak pretty words to cops.
I know. Sometimes,
Me and the lads haven't had too much issue with them.
well, to be honest, John, I don't know if I'd really
A fucking
want to
gang
fuck
just
with-
comes
I
from
look
the
over.
fucking
I look at.
shadows.
I just look over at the size of John Braun, and I'm like, to be honest, mate, I don't really know if I'd want to fuck with you either, regardless if I had a police uniform or not. I was like, I don't know if there's any kind of pretty words that could fuck up with that.
It's just a gang of 1920s greasers fucking snapping in sync
Snapping
outside.
All right, lads. Show them what for.
Oh,
So yeah, just kind of making our way south here into the guild hall, to the guild halls. So I'm gonna tell you some things, and it might be news to some of you, but perhaps not come as necessarily a surprise.
What an incredibly ominous thing to say.
Yeah, well, not as much ominous as it is just, the general bullshits of the city we live in.
So base, so true.
He's gonna take a really long drag off of his cigarette, and all right. This is, I suppose, assumed knowledge for most of the public here in Vinmaya, but not necessarily well known. It's not something I like to speak on, but obviously, yes, the Vinmaya Post is a part of the Guild of Writers, as you will, I'm sure some of you might be somewhat familiar with. Of course, there are the 5 guilds that effectively run the city. Doc Owens is the guild master of the writers. And essentially, in order to be a paper in the city, you have to sign a deal with the devil. You have to sign a document that allows you independence over your newspaper and how it operates, who you hire, what stories you chase, and whatnot. You have to pay an annual fee to the guild. It's almost just like a servicing fee, and in turn, you're allowed to, essentially, you can use their services for publishing, and that's the actual printing of getting the papers out there. But in turn, in order, to use that service. The Writers Guild is allowed say in what goes in your paper. For example, I could write a story that is extremely critical of some government officials, like I have done frequently, hence the 20 summons apparently I've gotten. And they can filter it, they can ask I can change language, or they can outright say I can't run the story at all. Period. Every single major newspaper, every single credible major newspaper in this city is with the guild. Publishing costs independently far outweigh the fee that we pay the guild every single year. They've effectively binded us in a financial agreement that you get to publish the paper and you get to bring the news to the citizens of Enmire, but only if you give us final approval. Now, Doc Owens, the guildmaster of the Writers Guild, he is not the one issuing approval for every single story that comes across our wire. He only handles the big events, the attacks, things like bombings, big piracy attacks, major scandals, especially scandals involving government officials and guild officials. Those will fall to his desk. As of late, I've not had many that have landed on his desk, but I have had a few. Most of them were allowed to be published without any changes. While they do have a say in what we publish, for the most part, they're very lenient in what we can and cannot say, or can and cannot publish in our paper. But sometimes that is not always the case. Mrs. McHale works extremely hard to make sure that we still get our general message across without ringing any alarm bells here at the Writers Guild office. But it's not always successful. I imagine that's what this is for. I'm gonna have to play nice. I'm gonna have to probably apologize and say I won't do anything like that again, or I might even have to pay a fine. But really, that's all they ask for. If you publish something that they don't like, or if you publish something that they told you to change, they will for the most part, issue a fine. If it's egregious enough, they could put you in front of a tribunal, and you would not necessarily lose your newspaper, but you would lose your credibility. You would be prohibited from any sort of official publishings, things from newswires. You'd essentially be limited to a creditless editorial column, which happens. But in this industry, without your credibility, you're nothing. You're a crazy man on a soapbox in the middle of the street ranting about how corrupt the government is and how its people are getting screwed, which I do anyway, but because I'm credited, there's weight behind my words. I'm telling you this is a warning. You're probably about to see a side of me that you're not going to really like, and you're probably going to think less of me for it. And I understand that. These are the rules of the game that I have to play. So, there's your civics lesson. If you need a smoke after hearing that, let me know. And,
Fuck it, we ball.
yeah, fuck it.
Not the fuck it, we ball.
Yeah. I'll say that as Turbo is explaining the machinations of the guild halls and the one that he's affiliated with, you'll arrive at the guild house of the writers. And as you step in, it's a very warm overtone type of lodge house building. The entire sides of the guild house are just covered in filing cabinets, where everything ranges and is marked down from public events ranging from festivals that are being planned or have already passed, to future events, to world events happening around the world that are just coming through Venmire, um, to ship out into their own city. And as you walk in, you are greeted by a very irritated looking halfling, who is writing down in his book, um, frivolously, as as you just walk in, and he looks up real quick, takes you all in, and just goes back to writing, not really caring that you're there.
Does he look like the receptionist of the building or anything like that?
He is very much the receptionist of the building.
All right. Good afternoon or good morning, sir. I have a summons to speak with Mr. Owens. My name is Francis Lovejoy of the Venmire Post. I have a meeting with him, and also, do you know if the constable correspondent would be available for a meeting in about 15-20 minutes?
As he is writing and hears your name, he just like stops and like hear like a scratch, like everything just comes to full motion. Like, ah, Mr. Lovejoy, Doc Owens is expecting you as always. Getting in nasty, nasty business as always. I have no business needing what the constable wants or what he does, but only what Doc Owens asks me to do. Go on, go up ahead. They can stay. Doc Owens has no
Me
need for
or
any of them.
here?
They can stay here. Just sit down and wait for you.
Alright, I'll be back in hopefully 20 minutes. I will see you all shortly.
As
Will do.
as you're saying that, he looks up and goes, best not keep him waiting any longer, and just continues to write down. He's an asshole. In the purest form.
I'm walking. And
And
I'll
as-
get to
as-
Doc's office and knock on the door.
As you're walking through, you see a few people that you were part of in the training program. Like you courtly like wave and like nod like your agreements, and like you're looking over up in the top pavilion, and you just see Doc Owens just standing there going, "Lovejoy!" And that kind of puts a little
Make sure you
pep
bring
in
in
your
pictures
step.
of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's it's not wrong. That's kind of where I was going for.
Spider-Man copyright.
Yeah, they can bring pictures of Spider-Man.
Yes, Mr. Owens, I am here for you.
My God, man, you're a fucking tough person to get when I need you here. Sit down, sit down.
Sorry, Mr. Owens, I was covering the news.
Oh,
Um,
bullshit. Your news isn't news.
my
You know
news
very
isn't
well.
news.
Pictures of Spider-Man.
I need pictures of that fucking fake Hydra. That's what I need. But he just goes through and goes,
Lovejoy,
bullshit.
you're fired. Oh wait, what about the other story? Lovejoy, you're rehired. Sit down.
Yes. Your news story, yes, usually puts me in more of an issue and trouble than it's worth. That last article you had to write about, that lord from the Republic? Jesus Christ. Lord almighty. Yes, Jesus is not canonical in this. I was going real into character.
Sleeping with his secretary.
I don't care.
How's that not news?
It's not news that we need to worry about. It doesn't happen in Venmire. It doesn't happen anywhere. You are contracted to write news in Venmire. I care not for what happens in the Republic, in the Empire, in the Orc tribe. I want news happening here. HERE.
Story on my 4th fucking page.
And that cost me 600 gold coins to eventually get the Lord to get off my ass.
I'm more
Now
honored that the
trust
Lordship reads my paper.
Mm.
Mr. Owens, if the people in this city are not informed, then our elections don't matter. If the people in this city are not informed, then the officials that they elect far too infrequently, if I might add, far too infrequently. If they are not informed, they cannot make reasonable decisions, and more importantly, they cannot hold their leaders accountable for what happens. You might say it doesn't happen at Venmaya. I am most assuredly that you're wrong.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sure somebody, somewhere probably is. You probably know who they are, but you keep it in your tight little circle, and that's fine. I can't report on it unless I see it happen or have somebody involved come to me and say that they do. Like his secretary when she popped by to tell me what was going on, because she, as part of their little bargain, if you had read the full fucking article, their little bargain dictated that she would get this nice crop of land out in the Republic, and he failed to deliver, so she leaked the story. A story like that falls into my lap, and you expect me not to report on it?
Did you hear about the consequences of what happened to that poor lass once she revealed the story?
It's more interesting.
The actions of those consequences. Do you take any time to consider exactly what would have happened?
I warn my sources anytime they leak a story. I warn them what might happen to them. And I preface that. If any whistleblower, if any leaker comes into my office with a story, I preface that explicitly before they begin. I say, in order to publish this, I have to have you on the record. That means your name published in my paper alongside the business that you are about to tell me. I say, there will probably be people that will come after you. I brief them on that every single time, and guess what? Every single one of them has chosen to tell me their story because their leaders won't fight for them. I do. And for the record, I'm not contracted to you. I pay you for your publishing services. I am not contracted to you. I do not work for you. I work for the citizens of Enmine. I work for the people of this beloved city.
Mm.
Every single one of them, citizen or not. If you sleep here, I work for you. They're the ones who are buying my paper that allows me to pay this guild its annual fee for their services.
You among thousands of others. And let's not forget, the only reason why people even read your paper 95% of the time is because you're backed by the guild, son. You have the credibility. Now, everything aside, I am more or less concerned about this new article I have received from your secretary. Be it as it may, I don't feel in good conscience to scare the citizens about increased attacks just this second. I have talked to the constable about further attacks that have happened over the past course of a few months. I want you to discuss this with him first before you at least publish it. I don't want to have to send another letter again.
Save your ink. I'm meeting with him after this.
Then, by the gods, we agree on one thing.
We agree on one thing. I did not have a chance to comment with reach out to the constable for comment before I published that story, but it was important. People travel that road every day. I was out there. I was on the front lines. There's another reason why I was late getting your letter. I was out of the city for 4 days.
He stops and takes notes of that, and as you're talking, like, he's mixing a powder into, like, a glass of water, and he's, like, drinking that, and he's like, ugh. Like, you can assume it's, like, an antacid, basically, of, like, a medium proportions. He's fucking trying to have a freaking...
I see him do that, and I'm gonna light a cigarette in his office. I'm not even gonna ask him if I can smoke. I'm just gonna do it.
Are you doing it with magic?
Yeah, I just cast, like, a very small, like, not like cast, but just, like, hold, like, a small flame in my hand.
Yeah, he counterspells the shit out of that. He goes, no smoking. This entire fucking building will go up in flames, son. Look around, it's covered in paper.
For 5 minutes.
You can smoke outside.
I can't even have a cigarette in here. Come on.
You're leaving soon.
Firebolt's a cantrip. He has spell slots. Keep going until he can't anymore.
Listen, Doc. Listen,
You gotta continue that sentence.
I appreciate you letting me publish what I wish to publish. I do not believe that the only reason people read my paper is because I'm backed by the guild, though it certainly helps. I don't believe it's the only reason. You know what I'm trying to do with this newspaper. Know how important it is. If people in the Merchants Guild were allowed to do what they want without being held accountable, this entire fucking city would serve them. We would all be bound in these gross contracts, living paycheck to paycheck, every single one of us. Not the 35% of the city that already does. They would be destitute if the Merchants Guild had their way. Without the kind of reporting that we do here at the Post. That's what happens. You know how important it is. And I understand you have to do your job. You have to filter things down sometimes to make the Grand Guild Master look as excellent as possible. I get it.
Avarachi Venmire has done
But with-
plenty for this city.
Sure, he's done plenty, but that doesn't mean he gets to get away with his wrongdoings. The people of the city elected him. There has to be some form of accountability, and that is what my newspaper is. Next week, I have an editorial that's going to release on page 1 of my paper. You're not going to like it. I'm letting you know right now that I'm going to publish it anyway.
He looks at you when he says that and goes, "Fine. But
Because
if they don't like it, you know what will probably end up happening."
sure, I know it will probably happen. But those are courts. Those are trials, witnessed by the public, ordained by those they elected. All that editorial is going to be, simply, it's a declaration. For the 3 years that I have owned this newspaper, 3.5 years I've owned this paper, I have strived to give this city the news it deserves. And for 3.5 years, I've had the Guild of Writers and all the other guilds on my back about it, while they seemingly leave the other papers alone. I'm not a yes man, you know that. While I do love our little endearing conversations, I know that I'm a pain in your ass, and that's a good thing. Those other papers don't bug anybody else nearly enough. I'm the one that has to go there and pick up that slack. You know that. Somebody has got to be in the corner of the people. And it is up to me, it is up to the Writers Guild to ensure that. We have to be the ones to stand up and say enough is enough. Change can happen. We have the power to make it happen. It shouldn't... No paper in this entire city should just have to push over because the guild they're writing about doesn't like what's being written about them. If they don't like what's being written about them, they should change to be something that they're proud to read in the papers. You know that better than I do. You've been a guild man half your career. Before that, maybe you were a writer, a reporter like me, who strove to make changes in this city. You're not going to like the editorial that comes out a week from now, but I urge you to let it go to books as written. It'll be something you're proud of. You can look to the other guild members and to the Grand Guild Master and say, that piece came from a paper of my guild. This city needs change. We can do this together. Come on.
And as he's listening to you go on, about your ideals and your idolations of how you feel everything should be changing. Uh, he looks at you like he's known you for most of your time here, being working in the guild hall, and then establishing a newspaper, and he uh is taking everything in. And as you're closing your argument, he just looks up and goes, "I think at this point you should probably focus on what you would like to talk to the constable. I have a lot to think about.
Good.
I will take into consideration of letting you run your paper, your next issue, unedited. But if my hands are tied, that's pretty much where that ends."
If you
And
don't
he
do it for
waves.
me, do it for the people of this city, and I'll get up and I'll light my cigarette on the way out.
Counterspell.
I'll turn it seriously, and I'll open the door, close it, and then light it.
Open the door, blow smoke, and then shut it again.
And I'll head back to the boys.
As you're walking through, you recognize a young elf woman, who you spent some time with, uh, in your apprenticeship with the guild hall as a writer, and she stops you before you walk your way out. The constable was looking for you. He relayed a message to me as I walked past. He will be in his usual spot near the food district in the cafe area of Sweeten's Garden. And she walks up after she relays that message to you.
Thanks. Hey, are you looking for a job by chance?
She's already gone by the time you ask.
You gotta stop trying to recruit everybody you see, mate.
I need more hands. Somebody's got to cover the Venmire beat when I'm away.
Why is it so massive?
All right, well, to the food district, I guess. You boys hungry?
And I guess. That where the constable's gonna be?
Yeah, that's what she told me. That he's gonna be there in his usual spot, sipping his fancy coffees and fancy danishes. The main road into the city gets plundered. Anyway,
Can't exactly expect a pig to do his job, now can you? Not good for much, but rutting around in the mud, are they?
No, but I can hope.
All right, you make your way over to Sweeten's Garden. A little cafe nook just south of the guild hall. Why can I not grab this? There we are. And as you make your way over there, Turbo, you will you instantly recognize the constable.
DM, what's his name? I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second.
Fantastic. Jared.
Oh God, no! Give me something else.
Yeah, that tracks.
Give me something else.
Constable, fuck Jared.
Constable. I don't know.
Come on, DM, you got this. You got this, DM. I believe in you. You got this. Come on.
Constable Striker.
Yeah, I guess that fits the police brutality bill. I can work with that.
True.
Um,
Is he sitting at a table with like other cops?
No, he's sitting by himself.
excellent. Um,
Although cops do frequent the streets, so he's not really alone. So be mindful and wary of that too. You start a fight with the police, you will be quickly swarmed by other police officers.
I'm not
John
looking
has
to
never fought a fight with the police, my friend.
At least none that's ever been published in my paper.
Why would you publish something that never happened, friend? I'm gonna just like fucking drag a chair over some cobblestones and put it at his table. Not saying a fucking word. Sit
gonna
down
take-
across from him.
I'm gonna take the other chair that was at the table.
And as John like obnoxiously drags a chair over and like sits it down Captain America style, the constable's like reading a newspaper. Noteworthy of attention, it's your newspaper, Turbo. And is drinking a cup. He just looks up and just like stares, like just like a long uncomfortable stare as like John just like drags over his chair and just sits down and goes, "John, Lovejoy, I don't know who
Hey,
you are,
Constable.
sir."
Good morning to you. And I'm gonna light another cigarette and
Shock and awe, counterspell. No, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna light a cigarette and pull out my notebook and pen. Constable, I'd like to start this conversation with an apology for not reaching out to your office for comment on the story that you're probably reading right now. I know that is slightly unprofessional on my end, but I needed to get the word out quickly as I was not in the city. I was unable to reach out to your office for comment at the time.
For clarification, what's the story?
The one that would have been published from our session 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wait.
Just the first one I put in the Venmire post.
Oh.
What happened? Because that's what besides the lordship story, that's what he was reaming me. The doc was reaming me about. So yeah, apologies for not reaching out for comment. And to be honest, I am not reaching out for your comment on that story right now. What I actually need is information. The injured folks that we rescued. They were traveling in a group of 15 when they were attacked. They weren't well armed per se. Some of them had weapons, but for the most part, they couldn't describe to me the amount of assailants that they had, but they were taken hostage. 10 of them beaten within an inch of death, 5 of them currently missing. I have reason to believe that the 5 that are missing have been kidnapped to be sold into slavery. And I'm going to pull out the rough drawing of the map that the old man gave. Witness testimony says he heard them talking about a fort. He marked this on the map. He said the fort was in ruins, but it wouldn't surprise me if a group of bandits is large enough to take a group of 15 people hostage that they might not have renovated into some kind of base of operations or something like that. We want to take it down, and we need your help to do it.
And as you're explaining this, like he puts down his paper respectfully. He's listening to you. He's like, "Well, Lovejoy, I know we normally don't see eye to eye on how things to be run, but I have known you to be not a total pain in my ass when it comes to it."
Not as much of a pain as I could be.
Mm.
And I'll kind of like smile when I say that.
Yeah, he notes that. unfortunately, the manpower of the police force is pretty strapped thin due to festival coming up, the annual harvest festival. The best I could do is to put in a good word for you at the Adventures Hall. And try and get you some adventurers who'd be up for the task. But unfortunately, the police force is, well, tired.
Constable, do you have how many at any given time? How many patrols do you have on that road? Any
Uh,
at all? Or
at
are you
least
relying on
at least
public
3 or
living
4.
God to
But
do
they
it?
stop. They stop quite a fair bit away. They don't travel the entire road, mind you. They stop just before Venmire is completely out of range. And then at that point, it's up to the caravans to make sure they have the guards they need or they're well armed and protected. So, up to a certain point, at least by 5, 6 hours worth of walking. And then they stop and turn around. And then the next group meets them halfway. And that group goes back. And they rinse and repeat until, you know, a full rotation is done.
And how many men is that usually?
At least 5.
I would appreciate the word at the Adventurers Hall. But I would surely hate to have the Grand Festival marred by would-be festival goers being attacked and kidnapped on the main road into the city. And I will stand up to go back to the hall.
All right. I will
and
say.
by the way, tell your men to stop working those poor people having a fun time when they get off shift. They're not bothering anybody. Just because somebody comes out of a tavern after a shift at 2 in the morning doesn't mean that they're always up to something illegal. You can stop searching them all the time.
He'll raise a cup to you in acknowledgement. But just goes back to continue reading your newspaper.
I'm gonna mutter under my breath, but loud enough so John can hear me. Fucking asshole. I don't know what Panda's up to. I don't know if we want to do a smash cut to Panda. I feel like I've been talking for like 40 minutes.
Panda's pissing. Give me a second.
Smash cut the Panda pissing right now.
Wow, what a great time for that to be caught on record for
I'll
YouTube
unmute this
video.
mic. Don't you dare.
His stream?
All right, so I muted Panda just in case he thought I was going to be smart. So, anyways, as the rest of you boys are traveling along, is anything
Always pissing.
you
Wash
want
your hands, you
to
fucking
do?
fiend.
Oh my god.
Disgusting. I'm never touching any of your things ever.
I still haven't muted. I'm so scared to unmute him now.
Well, you don't want to hear about the adventures of Piss Hands?
No. You know, Panda's staying muted for us.
Piss directly on his hands.
For the rest of the hour.
Straight into him.
Oh man, what a fantastic conversation.
No. you don't piss water. I hate to be the one to tell you this.
Oh my god. Turbo, is there anything more you want to do while they're having that conversation in the background?
Well, I just don't know if there's anything Panda is up to.
I don't know. I'm too afraid to unmute Panda for this
No, you
conversation
can
now.
unmute him. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he's not
It's
even
just
talking right now.
verbally.
Hey, is there anything you want to do?
Quick Panda, piss.
I swear to God.
Quick piss.
Oh, Lord.
Power word.
Go go
piss.
gadget piss range activate. All that I would think that really happened in the course of that time is I got the draft set up with room, board, food, etc. One of my employees is an Arakakra. I gave her 3 notes to try to get to ships that we roughly knew where they are because it was my ship, so we know like roughly where they are right now, so you can get there and then get back. And I was gonna have the chef in the back put a couple feelers out, send a sending or two, so we can get as much as we can, trying to figure out where this fort is.
Okay.
If this drow can't pour a drink, I swear to God.
Your whole tavern's on fire. I'm sad to say.
I'll piss it out.
My God. Anything anyone else wants to do?
Hey, John, how much does it cost to hire an adventurer?
I don't rightly know. Never had to hire one before.
Ugh. I don't know. Maybe there's a buy in bulk discount if you want to armor up your shipments or something.
Well, I figured
Alright.
we'll just have to stop doing business with the village up there. For the time being.
Crying shame that. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, well. It's still here.
Alright. Yeah, I guess I'll make my way into the Adventurers Hall.
Alright. So from Sweeten's Garden to the Adventures Hall, it's like a brisk, like 5-minute walk. Like you'll get there in record time. As you walk in, you come upon the front desk talking to the receptionist, asking if you are here for work or here to put down a job.
Put down a job.
Okay. Details of said job, sir.
Raiding bandit fort. Unknown number of enemies. We'll be traveling with a party of 5.
Yes.
Traveling with another party of 5. Expected timetable, probably 3 days. Maybe 4. Should I say 4? I kind of like looked at John.
Sure.
Probably a day to get there, maybe a day and a half. And then it's fighting, and then resting, and then day and a half back. Yeah, let's do 4 days.
Okay. And as you're discussing this, I didn't say it earlier, and I probably should have. We'll just say canonically. The constable will gave you a sheet of paper, with his signature and seal, saying like, payment will be delivered upon completion by the police, um, commissioner's office, at the pay of whatever gold. We'll say like 1,000 gold pieces.
And of the letter from the constable, payment will be organized through the commissioner's office.
Ah, yes, constable. Oh, that's quite a hefty sum there. I can guarantee that this should be filled out within a day at the most, maybe a few hours at the least. A good place to get a hold of you, sir.
You can use the Venmire Post's office, or actually, no, John Braun's place would probably be better. More of them will know where that is.
Right on, sir. Right on. And as he's filling that out, he fills out 2 sheets, one for the official board and one for you, as a receipt, basically stating, your terms of agreements on if the job is completed successfully. Here's what happened if it's failed. Um, you revoke any right to reimbursement by the Adventurers Guild. Um, and person walks off, puts a small knife through the paper onto a massive wall with a bunch of other adventures jobs waiting for there, and goes, "We shall get back to either both Mr. Braun here or yourself with news of your fulfillment contract."
Wonderful. Thank you.
Day to you both. And if there's nothing anybody else wants to do, I can fast forward 2 days from now.
I'm just gonna go back to Mrs. McHale, my editor, and just relay to her the conversation I had with Doc,
Doc
and
Owens.
then yeah, and then also letting her know that I'll be traveling back up there to report on the assault on the bandit fort.
Mm-hmm.
And also put a word in if anybody comes by looking for a job that she's free to interview them.
Good. As you
based on
wish.
the talents and ideals that I discussed with Mr. Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, long rest o'clock.
Mm-hmm. AJ, is there anything you want to do?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Just kind
Ready?
of chilling.
I assume Wraith is good.
Yep.
All right, cool. Fast forward 2 days. Turbo, you were waking in the very early hours of the morning, roughly 2 o'clock. By a loud banging at your door.
Fuck is that? I'm gonna answer the door with a dagger in my left hand, kind of like I pull the door as I go to pull the door open. I've got a dagger in my left hand as I'm using my left hand to pull the door open, so the dagger's kind of like hidden behind the wall of the door.
And as you open the door, you don't see anybody till someone goes, "Down here, sir." And a halfling is standing at your door.
Oh,
Mr.
Hello.
Mr. Lovejoy, I imagine, correct?
Depends on who's asking.
Guildhall, sir. Wanted to let you know that your group has been assembled. I do apologize for the very early morning wake up call. This team of adventurers were very eager to get started with the job. If you have any updates on the whereabouts of this job description you have, sir, sign here and here, sir, knowing that I have arrived. He hands you like an official clipboard as he's like patiently like tapping his foot.
Are the adventures here or are they at the hall?
They'll meet you at the hall, good sir.
Wonderful. Actually, could you have them meet us at John Braun's place tomorrow at 8 a.m.?
Ah, good job, sir. Will do.
I know that professionals. I am not very much one. I would like to sleep for a little while longer. And that's... thank you and good night.
Okay.
And I'm like very sleepily gonna close the door again.
Before he does that, sir, he holds out a hand, and like I feel like you know where this is going. Like he's waiting for like a tip.
Oh, sorry, first time ordering adventurers. Yeah, I'll flip him like 2 gold pieces.
Grabs them out of the air, goes, "Thank you, sir. We'll address the adventurers to meet them at Mr. Braun's place. Say 4 hours from now."
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you. And he promptly closes the door for you as you walk off. And as you are heading off to bed, um, you're thinking back on the villagers and the state they were in, and trying to make sure that you have everything planned you need for the journey ahead.
I'm
You're
gonna
also
write myself a note to have Braun pull up just with an extra wagon
Mhm.
to take with us in case we find survivors there that we need to take back. And I'm also gonna make a note to apologize for the adventurers that I should have disclosed, or I forgot to disclose that this might turn into a search and rescue mission. And then I'm gonna go back to bed.
All right. A few hours pass. You wake up. You have some time to make it to Braun's place. AJ, I have no idea what you were doing, sleep lodging wise. I'm just gonna say that you just found a random ass tree and just fell asleep somewhere.
I mean, my dude knows how to fucking function in society. He knows, like, he has not a lot of gold, but he can fucking rent a room.
Okay, like it was just kind of like
Going together, it's not, he also knows two people that own.
He knows two people with
Yeah,
taverns. Yeah.
I was being
I'm
a smart
assuming I
ass.
talked to John and was like, asking to stay there if like we're gonna be exploring this
Actually,
fucking
it's really out
slave
of my
trade.
character to help people. Like, actually, he would lure you
Uh.
to wolves because that's what my character would do.
Oh God.
I just like fucking with your character so much. But yeah, like I'll say that you got like a bed and room at Braun's place. Where you all meet up uh with the adventurers who are waiting outside the tavern. Panda, you have gotten news from your sources about a specific outpost that has been getting a lot more attention recently. Some smaller ships, more like sloops. They aren't big ships. They're tiny vessels that can navigate quickly through the rocky cliffside of where this fort is residing. And you'll have been warned that this specific fort was not under Valahad's control, but one of the main allied forces. Um, so it's not something that would have had um, like any dark magic, so to speak, with it. It's very well in its form an abandoned fort, just seeing more heavy presence than anything else.
Okay. Side question: did anyone ever inform me of what was happening?
I assume since we
we
had a
would
full
have.
48 hours to do it, then yeah.
We
Yeah.
certainly would have. Yeah.
Okay, I was making sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll just sort of like get up to Bronze late, like after everyone else is best. Like, all right, so I got a bit of information. Who the fuck are all these people? And I'll like point over to the mercenaries.
The cops gave us a bunch of money, so we hired adventurers to help do work that matters instead of patrolling the streets and putting drunk people in jail.
I wish you would have fucking told me. I would ask the crew if they wanted to come. Anyway.
I assume we did tell you, seeing as you're here and somehow knew of the plan.
I didn't know of the plan, but all right.
How the fuck did you get here then? And why
That's
are you
what
here?
I'm wondering.
If you didn't know the plan, that we definitely told you within the 48 hours that we knew of the plan.
Yeah, you know the
We
plan.
just discussed telling that we told you that plan.
Oh yes, the poison specially chosen to kill Cusco.
Kill Cusco.
Cusco's poison.
Are we fucking going, or are we gonna let the hostages sit in that castle for another fucking few hours?
Nah, we're fucking going. And I'll just give all the information that you just told me. Be on your guard, where to go, yada yada, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I would be present as well, so I'm ready to pitter patter.
Yeah. With that, since we're gonna get into possible combat next session, I am probably going to call it here so we don't miss too much stuff for winter.